We are less than 24 hours away from the 2023 Asia Cup final between India and Sri Lanka. This tournament is a very, very important tournament when you have to look at the World Cup preparations. Because of this, whoever wins the Asia Cup will head into the World Cup with tremendous confidence. Remember, India and Sri Lanka, it is not a surprise that they are contesting the final because if you look at the entire history of the Asia Cup, many people often want an India-Pakistan match. But why? India and Sri Lanka are two of the most successful teams that have ever played in the Asia Cup, be it in the T20, be it in the ODI. Both these teams in 15 editions have shared 13 trophies in between them. India with 7, Sri Lanka with 6. This is including the T20 format as well. Now, the other two have been shared by Pakistan, 2000 and 2012. But India and Sri Lanka have had a very rich legacy when you have to look at their finals performances. How have India fared in the finals against Sri Lanka in the Asia Cup? How has Sri Lanka fared against India in the finals? In this video, I will give you the starting point of their rivalry in this Asia Cup, which began with a rather low-key affair but then intensified and became one of the most closely fought rivalries at this point in the Asia Cup. So, this 2023 Asia Cup is yet again a summation that it has been played between the two most successful sides because India have won 6 ODI titles in the Asia Cup. 84, 88, 1990-91 season, 95, 2010 and 2018. Sri Lanka on the other hand, they have won in 1986, 1997, 2004, 2008 and 2014. So, 5 ODI titles compared to 6. If Sri Lanka wins, it will be a record equaling 7th. If India win, it's a record extending 8th Asia Cup title for them. So, when did the rivalry actually begin? It all started in 1984. And at that time, the Asia Cup was constituted as a very small league in terms of team participation, in terms of team power. Because in 1984, you have to understand that there were only 3 teams in the fray: India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Pakistan and India were already the established powers in Asia. Sri Lanka had only got test status in 1982, but they had been playing ODI cricket ever since 1975. In this particular edition of the Asia Cup, there was no final. Instead, 3 teams played amongst each other for 2 games. India won both against Pakistan and beat Sri Lanka by 10 wickets. Sri Lanka were bundled out for 96. And because of that, India topped the group. And that is the reason why they won the first Asia Cup trophy. Nothing much to write about, right? But slowly but surely, the tournament began to get a proper concrete structure. And in 1986, India managed to win by 6 wickets. And it came at a time when Navjot Singh Sidhu, Krishnamachari Shrikant, Dilip Vengsarkar, Ravi Shastri, India were actually dominating world cricket at that point. They had won the 1983 World Cup. 84, they had already won the Asia Cup. 85, they had won the Benson and Hedges World Series. And also now in 86, they had won in England and also the Asia Cup with a proper format for the first time. Navjot Singh Sidhu was a star with 76, 4 fours and 3 sixes. But it was Krishnamachari Shrikant with his medium pace that ensured his 3 for 30 restricted Sri Lanka to a very low score. But in 1990-1991, the tournament was held for the first time in India and it remains the only time that it has been played in India. In Kolkata, you saw India put on yet another brilliant show with Kapil Dev leading from the front with 4 for 31. India had won by 7 wickets. Apart from Kapil Dev, Tendulkar, Manjrekar and Azharuddin, they hit 50s as well. Tendulkar hitting a solid 50, but it was Manjrekar and Azharuddin who ensured that India won the Asia Cup yet again. So, in this rivalry so far, India had been dominating and they continued their domination in 1995 as well, because after 91, there was a lull of 4 years and the Asia Cup returned. It was in Sharjah. You would all be knowing in 1995 the assault that Navjot Singh Sidhu and Sachin Tendulkar unleashed on Pakistan. They had a record opening stand at that time and Mohammad Azharuddin hit 25 plus runs in Ataur Rahman's final over and 305, Pakistan just could not chase it down. in the final, it was yet again a one-man show from India. They bowled brilliantly, and Mohammad Azharuddin and Navjot Singh Sidhu ensured India had made it 3 out of 3 against Sri Lanka when it came to Asia Cup finals. But then, when the new millennium was about to come, and in 1997, the rivalry changed dramatically, and it all started with a certain left-hander, a left-handed captain, and also some stars who had emerged in that particular year, because 1996 was when Sri Lanka defied the odds and won the World Cup. And in 1997, they were on top of their game in every which way. They had superstars like Marwan Attapattu, Arjuna Ranatunga, Aravinda de Silva. There was also the likes of Ruvan Muttaya Muralidharan, Chaminda Was, who was wreaking havoc, even Upul Chandana for that matter, the leg spinner. In that game at the SSC in 1997, Sri Lanka showed who was the boss when they finally won the Asia Cup by beating India by 8 wickets. It was a comprehensive win. Jayasuriya, Attapattu and Ranatunga all hit 50s, and yet again India, having struggled against Sri Lanka from 1996 onwards, their nightmare would only be prolonged. And as the new millennium came, as the new 21st century dawned, it was Sri Lanka who held the edge, because in 2004, India had put on a very, very modest 50-50 kind of a show. Remember, they only got through to the final of 2004 because they had denied Pakistan a bonus point in the league game. Thanks to their narrow win against Sri Lanka by 4 runs in the league stages, Sri Lanka finally had their revenge. In the final, chasing a rather middleish 230-240 kind of a score, Attapattu and Sangakkara had notched up 50s. Sachin Tendulkar had kept India in the hunt with a brilliant 74. But once he tried to sweep Tilakaratne Dilshan, who let out a kind of a phoenix-like celebration, it was all over. Sri Lanka managed to win the match by 25 runs, and they had closed the gap on India when it came to Asia Cup trophies. But you thought that 2004 was going to hurt you? 2008, India were absolutely mystified, and they had a mystery spinner who would change the face of cricket for a very brief period, because in 2008, look at this particular individual. He who invented the carom ball totally changed the course of cricket with his mystery. Balapu Vaduge Ajanta Winslow Mendes, or simply Ajanta Mendes. His carom balls totally decimated the Indian top order. After Virender Sehwag had gotten off to a great start, they had to chase 274. But India were 100 for no loss when this particular individual came, took 6 wickets for 13 at the National Stadium in Karachi, and Sri Lanka had won by a comprehensive margin of 100 runs. Ajanta Mendes, remember that name, he would torment India throughout 2008. And somewhere down the line, his mystery faded away. But for that brief glimpse, he was the prime reason why Sri Lanka cricket became alluring, because so many gems could be unearthed from that particular country. But you couldn't keep India down for too long, because 2 years later, Sri Lanka versus India squared off in the final, yet again, this time at the Rangiri Dambulla Stadium. And because of that, India, under MS Dhoni's captaincy, it was at this particular point that they had said, this is World Cup preparation. We have to win this. And remember, in the previous encounter, it was Thisara Perera who had taken a hat-trick against India. So they really wanted to ensure that Sri Lanka would not bother them. And boy, did India put on a great show. In that entire match, in that entire final at Dambulla, only 2 individuals hit a 50. One was Chamara Kapugedra, who was the first. Dinesh Karthik. Opening the batting, Dinesh Karthik in the top order, he hit 66, and Ashish Nehra's 4 for 40 ensured India had won by 81 runs in Dambulla and had gotten the Asia Cup. And remember, this win was important as it laid the foundation for World Cup success that would follow in the next 4 to 5 months. So, if you have to look at overall ODI clashes in this Asia Cup, India and Sri Lanka have clashed in 7 Asia Cup finals. Out of that, India has won 4, Sri Lanka has won 3. 1997, 2004, 2008, rest of the finals were won by India. Now remember, India are the defending ODI Asia Cup champions. They had won in 2018, whereas Sri Lanka last won the ODI Asia Cup in 2014 when they beat Pakistan by 5 wickets. That Asia Cup victory was also very important because Sri Lanka had come through a very good period at that time. They had beaten Bangladesh, they had won the Asia Cup and they won the World T20, all in Bangladesh. So, in that sense, this will be a very good contest. Whether it will be India, whether it will be Sri Lanka, it remains to be seen. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live, and don't forget we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Thank you.